Year's resolution didn't fail because you're lazy. It failed because it was built on motivation. And motivation is one of the weakest forces in human psychology.
Every January, millions of intelligent adults decide they're going to be different. Eat better, train harder, wake up earlier, finally become more disciplined, finally lose those pounds. And by February, most are right back where they started.
Yeah. And it's not because they lack willpower. It's because the brain does not change through inspiration. It changes through your environment, like what you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Through structure and through
Identity.
Kate's favorite word. Kate's favorite, identity. Identity.
Yeah. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. And most people never change their systems. They just try harder in the same life, which is just impossible.
So today we're going to talk about why your resolutions fail and what actually makes your change inevitable. Like, it's going to happen no matter what you say.
Yeah, without struggle, with kind of ease and grace. So just before we sort of launch into and give you the solutions to how to navigate this human psychology failure, let me just tell you a couple of stats so we can all not feel bad about ourselves and just be like, oh, okay, got it. These are the stats. Only 8 to 9% of people successfully keep their New Year's resolutions long term. 8 to 9%.
That's not a lot.
Some studies report failure rates as high as 88 to 92%, meaning only 8 to 12% succeed overall. Around 23% quit within the first week. 64% by the end of the month, and 81% before 2 years. So, and then they've even got, I didn't know this, there's a Quitters Day, which is the second Friday in January. That's National Quitters Day, where everyone's like, it's the weekend, I'm gonna like
Which day is it? How many days in?
It's the second Friday in January. They've actually named it
Quitters Day. All right, so you're huh.
Yeah, you're up. Yeah, they even named it, guys, and we all know when you label something, it kind of sticks. So
it kind of stinks. I mean, how many of you have quit?
It does stink.
How many of you have quit before Quitters Day on your New Year's resolutions? I mean, here we are in February.
This is like when the next amount of people fall off, mid-Feb. So this is why we felt it was really important to talk about this. Because most people that fall off are then shaming themselves and feeling like they're a loser. And then some people even say, I guess this next year. It's like there's some magical slate that gets wiped on January 1st and suddenly you're able to do all this stuff. Time is a construct of our minds. It doesn't exist. So there's no time to start. The beginning of the year does have this energetic field where people feel like it's a fresh start. People feel like they're capable of doing things that maybe they couldn't do in November. So we like to honor that energy and catapult off it. But we wanted to have this conversation now for those of you that have given up on those dreams already and just stepping aside, because people live their lives on default. They don't live them based on what they really want to create. And the reason they're defaulting is they're defaulting to the habits and the rhythms that their life is. Now, if your rhythm is to wake up, look at social media, all the cortisol starts rising, and then have a cup of coffee. Oh, there goes your body's cortisol even more. And then you're rushing to get to work and you run out the door and you throw some cereal at the kids. And then it's like, get in the car. And there's all of this. It's cortisol. And then so your body's exhausted. It feels like it's been chased by a tiger all morning. You're in survival mindset. You're not at all in creation or how do I set up my day or what do I want to create today. You're just like, and then of course, then your boss yells at you and this happens and it's just like, it's nonstop. Once you create that, it's nonstop. And so of course, when you get home, you want to have a glass of wine, you want to switch on TV, you want to switch off, you want to numb out. And that's because your habits, your environment is set up for you to fail. And so willpower and muscling it and strong willing it
And motivation
is never going to
isn't
do
the
it.
way. No.
It's never going to do it. So there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you're not set up in the rhythms that have you succeed.
And the systems. Like you don't rise to your motivation or to the inspiration. You don't rise necessarily to your goals. You fall to your systems. You fall to the structures that you have in place to make sure that you can actually fulfill on what you set out to do and promise. 'Cause
Yeah.
motivation and willpower, they go with the little circumstances can come up, and all of a sudden whatever you were, I'm gonna do this, and you're all of a sudden you're off distracted on social, or your tire gets flat. It's amazing if you don't have that really strong why. You just kind of run and chase things all over the place, and you need
you
systems
attract more of what you are putting out. So
Yeah, man.
so that's when you are running late to work, that's when your tire will go flat. That's when all of the traffic is extra bad. You're almost creating this in a symbiosis with your environment. So if you struggled, congratulations, you are human. You're normal. You're not broken. You're like 92% of the population. And it's not that 8% is specifically extraordinary or just an alien or has, type A personality. It's that they set up the systems so that they can succeed.
Yeah.
So we want to talk to you a little bit about that.
About systems and environment and because that's the solution. The solution isn't to get more inspiration or more motivation, because
To be more disciplined.
yeah, I mean, you could be disciplined inside of a system or a structure that you set up, but it's not hard to be inspired. You open up your Instagram or your TikTok or whatever, or Facebook, and inspiration after inspiration and motivation after motivation, but it doesn't necessarily move the needle.
Actually, it does the opposite. There's something that I'm sharing at the moment, and it'll be in our Origin program, which is dopamine depletion. And it's what we're all suffering from. So if you're lacking motivation, like it's even hard to get out of bed, it's hard to do anything, it's because you're dopamine depleted. And it's because we are on screens all the time, searching for that motivation and inspiration. It was podcasts. It's like our brains don't have time to be bored, to be silent, to create. We're just bombarding them, and that actually sucks your motivation out of you. It's an extraordinary thing. And I think everyone is suffering from it in some way, shape, or form, unless you're completely switched off and don't connect to your phone, which is very minimal people.
Kate did that, and then she lost her phone at the Super Bowl.
I know. I'm so disconnected. I literally cut myself off from being able to look at websites, look at any socials, anything like that, because I read all about this. I saw its potency. I was like, I don't want this.
And Kate would get in a good
impacting my
workflow,
life.
and then her phone would naturally open up Instagram, and before she knew it, she'd be there getting inspiration, or blogging out, a bit of both probably.
Yeah.
But then time would go by and be like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
It became this like habit.
I would pick up my phone when when I was dealing with a problem, and then I would distract myself, and then I wouldn't solve the problem. I would just be completely out of it. So I didn't want my phone hijacking my life and hijacking my creativity. Once I learned about dopamine depletion, I was like, I do not want this impacting my life. I don't want it stealing my life. And that's what TVs, phones, they're basically robbing you of your life. You know, when you see people in a restaurant, like a couple, and instead of talking to each other over a meal, they're both sitting on their phones.
Yeah, those are dark days. When I see
and
that
it's
in
all
a
the
restaurant
time.
or families.
Family meals. I mean, we have a big rule, have always had this: 0 phones at the table. Like, it is time to connect. But not all families have that.
When I was going to propose to Kate in Italy, we went into this restaurant, and it was like I wanted there to be this really special restaurant.
Romantic.
We were in Matera, which is like one of the oldest, longest lived in cities in Europe. I think it's number 4 for the longest civilization and tribe.
3, I think.
3?
Yeah.
The longest time they've managed to stay there continuously inhabited as a
9,000 years.
as a community and as a tribe. Like, think of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the night I knew I was going to propose wasn't going to be in the restaurant. I had it planned out on this huge terrace in front of the old city. And we got into this one restaurant, and the lights were like LED, bright and LED, and there was families with kids on their iPads, and I'm like, no. And we moved to another restaurant, and line was big. I think we got into that, and it finally ended up at this other one, and our waiter was cranky. Remember that guy? And
Paul was like, can I have this with a little, and he's like, no, you have it like it is on there. And we're like, okay. I was like, okay, everyone's good here. We're good.
Like, yeah, this is going to be a great night. But the kids on the iPads was the family was there at a beautiful Italian dinner, and they're just like, everyone was on their thing. I was like, not like this, not like this.
You know what I think is crazy? This is a side thing of what we're talking about. But parents shove, and for whatever reason, I know you want a nice meal, but when you cannot expect your teenagers to connect with you if you teach them to disassociate so you can have a nice meal when they're young. Just put it out there. So if you want your teenagers to want to talk to you and to want to be with you at dinner, don't do that. Don't put them on screens. Like, just deal with the mess of children and the loudness or the uncomfortableness. Just deal with it, because then they'll be receptive to being with you when they grow up. Anyway, that's a side note. All right. So coming back to, that's it. So I know you might think you're getting inspiration by looking on there, but you're actually depleting your brain. And that's a whole nother thing that will rob you of your creativity and your motivation as well. That's for another day. So what I want you to know is your brain is not built for dramatic reinvention. Our creature brain, our amygdala, wants to keep us safe. And that isn't always a textbook, because I want to give you an example. I often tell, if a person growing up has been beaten by their parent, the chances of them ending up in a relationship where they are also beaten are very, very high. And that is because the creature brain, the amygdala, will search for what it knows as safety. And even if being beaten definitely is not safe, that's what the brain knows as safety. And so the amygdala is not necessarily something to trust.
Not necessarily. It's familiar.
It's familiar, but familiar is safety to a creature, like if you're thinking about a creature brain, right? And so we're not designed to just radically change. We are designed to be built for efficiency and for rhythms. So we need the brain to start connecting the dots that, oh, this feels familiar. You know, okay, they do this in radios, like at radio stations. They start playing songs and they smash you with a song until and it might be like, what is this song? This is terrible. But once it becomes familiar, oftentimes you'll enjoy it. And so they did that with a lot of artists that did new songs that were against the grain, really different. But people were like, oh, what is this? When they're not used to it. And that's how we've created all these new genres. But if the radio stations played it over and over, people became familiar with it, and then they became to enjoy it and like it. So our brains work in that way. What becomes familiar, your brain can settle into and feel safe, and then it can be with that. So we can't just radically change and say, oh, I'm just going to be a disciplined, muscle weight building, epic person, when before that we've been a ice cream eating couch potato that never moved their bodies. Like, you can have that, but it's a process. It's not an instantaneous thing. And I think some people think that it needs to be, and when it's not, that they're a failure. So we want you to know that everything you do needs to be rooted in safety of your amygdala, so that you do it slowly. So what we do that's repeatable as a habit is the thing that will become who you are. And habits are really hard to do on your own. Like just as a singular person, like I'm going to do this every day. What you actually
Like change?
Yeah, like
Changing your
create a
habits?
habit. Like I'm going to get up and go for a run every morning. That's great for the first 3 or 4 days. You might even last a bit longer. But bring in a rainy day. Bring in a really cold day. Bring in a day where you didn't get enough sleep and you didn't feel so good. It's much, much harder to get up. Now, pair that with if you join a running club and there's people you're meeting every day,
Yeah.
then you will feel on those days where you don't want to do it responsible to go and do it because you don't want to let them down. You don't want them to think you're weak. Like it doesn't matter what the ego comes into. When there's people involved, the chances of you succeeding in your goals are much 90% higher, because we will fall short on our promises to ourselves a lot, but we won't to other people, even if it's just ego and pride that's there keeping you going. So,
I mean, the tribal stuff comes into it because you don't want to be kicked out of the tribe either. Like you show up and you need to be valuable, because all of our ancestors, if you were booted out of the tribe, you would die. So once you become a part of a tribe, then you have to show up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the part of you that's going to get cast out is like triggered, and so you show up.
Yeah. And so in this knowledge, and we've been in this game a long time, and we've seen people radically transform and stay that way forever, and then we've seen people that had huge changes and then they slowly slid back, or they had this big goal like a wedding, they released tons of weight, they got they were doing all the things, it was so easy, and then the wedding's over and they're like, meh. Now I can just go back to what I did. And it's crazy to me that people think they can do something like a diet, a short period of time to get an outcome, and then just return to what's normal. And the reason people do that is and what's behind all of it is identity. And those of you that know me know that I have a program called Identity Code, because I'm so obsessed with how powerful our mind is and how we can literally rewire our brain to change it. But we wanted to also create, what is the thing that has people embodied, people step into their health and their life in a way that's simple, because in the past we've been a little complicated, haven't we, babe?
Yeah.
We're so into the body, the mind, health, what's possible, that we've overloaded people. And so what we've been doing is a return to the simplicity of what works.
Yeah.
And often when one of our clients has had a crazy result, they chose one thing and did it no matter what. And that one thing needed to be a regular daily mover.
Yeah.
But they stuck with it, and that's what made all the results. So we've created a program called Origin, which is a return to your factory settings. We are born and built perfectly. Our health is extraordinary. The way our bodies heal, the way our immune systems work is extraordinary, but modern life messes it up and gets in the way. And so what we wanted to do is bring in something that helps you return to your factory settings in tribe. Because it's with people that motivation endures. It's people that create the impact that has you become something, an identity of someone, rather than a quick fix, a diet, going to the gym for a month. All of these little things that people do all the time, and when the motivation's gone, they're gone. So really, the biggest factor of Origin is tribe, and how we can show up for each other. Because in this world of AI, literally you can look up anything, you can put plans into place, you can do anything you want, but you won't show up for yourself. And it's only the like being in a tribe of people that are like-minded, that are standing for your greatness while you're standing for them, that you will have the success that you truly, truly want. Anything operating alone is far less powerful than operating as a whole group. So Origin is based around 5 factors. And that's we affectionately call it caveman philosophy, because cavemen were superhumans. They could run for incredible distances, walk incredible distances. They could carry things, double their weight, triple their weight. You know, they were incredibly strong. And had incredible abilities, and they didn't have any biohacking things. There was no like needing to be on diet drugs. There was no needing peptides. There was no $2 million a year Brian Johnson to try and age backwards and be the best type of human. It was just being connected to nature and being in tribe and taking care of one another. And so the 5 factors are movement, nutrition, water, sleep, and community, obviously. And so with this, what we aim to create is you to be in rhythms, the rhythms your body is designed to be in, back to simplicity, so that you can create these habits that just become who you are.
Yeah, and you have it, if you get in a rhythm with your promises to yourself, or with your systems or your structures, you get in a rhythm with it. It's different than trying to form habits. Like habits can feel, you can have good habits, and sometimes they're unconscious habits. And whereas when you're getting into a rhythm, it's much more connected in a sense to your heart and to your intention, into your tribe, in a sense. So the habits and that are a little bit different, I would say.
Absolutely. It's a rhythm.
Rhythm and habits are slight, and that's sort of the if you get into a rhythm with something, the being able to show up for yourself and others is going to come much more in flow and naturally.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so the main thing is to take out all the decision making every day, because we are bombarded, just like I was talking about with dopamine depletion. We're bombarded. I think there's a stat that we are exposed to more information than one day than our great-grandparents were exposed to their entire life.
Yeah, think about how much comes through your phone or through your computer or through your TV or through...
like people everywhere.
So there was stuff happening in the world, crazy bad stuff, but you never heard about it.
If it wasn't in your little town, you didn't know about it. And I think we were better off that way, because when we try to take on the problems of the world that we cannot solve, it leaves us feeling helpless.
Yeah.
And feeling like we can't do anything, or we're insignificant in the world. Whereas when you're part of a community where you make a difference to those individual lives, you feel like you've really done something great in the world. If you're not feeling like, oh, but I'm not Elon Musk, or I'm not like flying jets, or I'm not doing this, the comparison of this life of modern world is really sucking the life out of true creativity and what people are capable of.
Yeah.
So we want everyone to step away from that and step into something where the rhythm of life, natural rhythms, is what's celebrated, is what shifts you to being the most powerful version of yourself. And behavior is contagious. You rise to the room that you are in. So you want to be in a room where everyone is excited about your rhythm, no matter how small it is. So that you create an identity of, this is who I am. You stop seeing yourself as trying, and you start just becoming the person that shows up in that way, that does that thing. And once you have those 5, they're the 5 foundations. You have those correct, and that's movement, sleep, water, nutrition, and tribe. You have that. Everything else rests on that. It's like building your house from a solid foundation. You have that foundation right, everything else goes. all you need is that foundation. You don't even need to go into the other crazy things if you don't want to. If you can live a powerful life just with that. But what is going to keep you there is your tribe and the rhythms
Your
that
environment.
inspire you to continue into like having this. And we've set it up so that there is an easy, medium, and hard challenge every month on the one thing. We only focus on, say, movement on 1 month, and there's an easy, medium, and hard challenge. Now, just because you're able to do the hard challenge doesn't mean that you choose that. If you know you have a heavy month with travel or with work or family or whatever's going on, you can choose the easy one, because the main thing is getting into the rhythm and showing up for yourself every day in this tiny little way until all of this just becomes who you are. So there's always going to be a little bit of variety, but not a lot of decision making. It's just finding your flow, getting into your rhythm. So Origin's not becoming a new person, although you will, even, it just naturally will occur. But it's a returning to the person you were before the world told you who you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do. You'll get a sense of personal power, a sense of confidence, because when you can have those rhythms and know yourself as someone that shows up for yourself and others in the tribe, you just walk differently in this world. There's a confidence. There's a
And what I love about the word origin is, I remember I did this program once and I read this line that said, the you know yourself to be may not actually be who you are. And I had to read it a bunch of times, and it was around identity, but it's also like this. A lot of us have things happen to us in our lives, and then we make them mean something, and we create stories about them. And the person that we show up with isn't necessarily who we are. Sometimes it's like who we've built ourselves to be to survive something. So getting back to your origin, the promise here is you will become more authentically you when you strip away all the noise, and you'll get just a signal away from all the busyness and get down to like doing very simple things that actually matter, and you become more authentically you when you take away all the noise.
And when you're living authentically, you will never ever live any other way. Like when you're not living to people please, taking care of others, pretending to be a good girl or a great guy, or it doesn't mean that you're not a good girl or a great guy, but when it's authentic, it's different to when you're pretending to be something so that you can make others feel comfortable or impress daddy or whatever the old story
be loved or liked.
It's this
popular.
There's just nothing like when you just can be who you are, and the greatest thing is when you are truly authentic, you are magnetic. Even if you're a little intense or you're a little like sledgehammery, but when people know your heart and know that you're speaking from a truth, it lands.
Yeah.
Your words land with people, and there's nothing quite like that, to truly feel seen and heard and loved for who you are, not for who someone wants you to be. It's a really powerful thing.
Yes.
And so goals set at New Year's heavily rely on motivation, but psychology shows behavior change depends more on system, cues, and environment, not sheer willpower.
Right.
So we have created this container, this meeting place, this fireside tribe for everyone to get back into the rhythm of their life. And so if you're someone who is on the hamster wheel with trying to release weight, or someone that's always wants to go to the gym but doesn't have the discipline, can't find the time, someone that's frantic all the time, anxious, or all of these things, all of these pain points people are feeling in modern day life, and you're exhausted and you don't know how to get enough sleep, you don't know how to find your rhythm that has you succeed, then this is the place for you to come. This this is it, because every single human on the planet needs these rhythms to have any level of success. They just have to. You can't skip it. And it might not be the sexiest thing, like, ooh, let's have some bio optimizing peptides and let's do all this, all this stuff that's going around right now. And sure, that stuff can be extraordinary if you're not sticking it on top of an already broken system that's not really working. You have to create the systems and the rhythms so that you can succeed and flourish and fly.
Yes. So
Yes.
Let's summarize and let's let them know how you guys can be a part of this. If you're watching, you can comment Origin, and you will get a link with not just more information, but the ability to join us in this container.
Mm-hmm. And just for clarity, for those of you that are already in our universe, anyone in Freedom Portal, which has been our membership for the past 5 years, Freedom Portal people only currently enrolled are automatically grandfathered into this program. So they are in. If you're in any of our other programs, this is a different this is a different container. It's not that we no longer want to do programs. We want to do containers of communities. That's where people come together and elevate one another. So that's what our focus is as well. So comment Origin if you're like, I want the rhythms. I want to know how to do things. I don't want the sabotages and the setbacks and the life being so busy to hold me back. This is something that anyone can do. I don't care how busy you are. Everyone will be able to do this. Everyone will feel seen, heard, and loved. This is a place where we come together. And then we're also doing fun things on the community side. Like we're going to be doing fireside vigils, I guess, where people can perform. This isn't just about pole performing. Other people will have opportunities to perform, to sing, to tell stories. It's a coming together and to share wisdom, knowledge, stories, just like they did. And that's how we evolved. And we shared information. It was through fireside stories. And so really we want to bring a coming back to that. So it'll be a really beautiful experience and very much based in humanity, on our humanness and what makes us special. So comment Origin. You can comment if you're watching on the replay. You can comment Origin. If you're watching now, you can comment on Origin, and you'll be taken to find out more information about what this extraordinary thing is. We are launching very soon. The people in there's only a limited amount of founders that can be in, and the founders get $168 discount, and you will be able to have a founder's price for the rest of your life as long as you are enrolled in the community. And so if you want to jump on that, where there's already a lot that are gone, so there's not that many left. I think when you go to checkout, you'll see how many are left. There's not many there. So that is running out soon. Anyone that's in that founder circle will get to come on a Zoom with us next week after our next fireside conversation. And so we can start really coaching or sharing or helping you start to elevate your what you're coming into. You'll also have access to the dopamine depletion detox that you can get yourself really cleared up and ready to go when we launch in the beginning of the month. So this is the moment. This is the moment to jump in so that you're at the forefront of all of it. And we really are calling in people that care about other people, that want to see them rise while you're rising at the same time. We're here to create that environment, and so we're after the special, magical few that will be a core part of this beautiful container and ecosystem and world that we're creating.
Yes, our tribe.
Yeah, our tribe, and we hope to impact many, many lives, and that all of you are part of it. It's not something that's resting on our shoulders. It's absolutely co-creation. So, yeah.
Great. So comment Origin, and you will get you'll get a link. And then we'll see you guys. We're going to do this. Are we doing one more next week? We're doing this next week as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we've got two more left. And then anyone that's, in those founder circles, our founder circle will be able to jump on a Zoom and have a chat with us after we finish these. So
Okay.
yeah, get on in there.
All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you next week.
Ciao, ciao.